Tes 1, 2, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kembali lagi di perkuliahan saya. Untuk METLIT atau metodologi penelitian pariwisata ya. Kita setelah UTS-nya nanti saya share ya. Ini ada di sini, saya sudah share ya ke Regi. Regi tinggal isi. Ini dari Dr. Gin ya. Dari Instagramnya beliau share ini dan saya ambil gitu ya. Nanti saya juga akan tulis mungkin di sini di akhir sesi atau nanti di deskripsi bahwa ini saya menggunakan konsep beliau ya yang mempermudah mahasiswa baik itu S1, S2, S3 untuk memilih topik risetnya. Oke, kita kembali ke sini. Ini saya lanjutkan saja, jadi pertemuan ini sampai ke pertemuan 11. Jadi lebih banyak kita diskusi, tinggal cari waktunya saja. Google Classroom siap, ready. Telegram juga siap, ready. Kita akan bahas tentang quantitative methods-nya. In general, quantitative research deal with number and things that can be quantified, turn into number. Jadi kuantitatif tuh, kalau kita bicara dengan kuantitatif, kita bicara tentang angka-angka. Nah, angka-angka itu yang akan nantinya dicoba dijelaskan ya dengan kerangka teori ya, dengan survei yang sudah ada gitu ya, survei di lapangan ya, mungkin untuk survei kuesionernya bisa melalui online. What kind of question can be asked in quantitative research? Question typically center around group difference, change in score over time, or the relationship among variables. Usually, these questions are focused on explaining or predicting some kind of quantifiable outcome. How are test score different between group getting treatment E versus treatment B? How does attention change across three kind of tasks? What is the relation between attention and test score? These questions are all quantitative sort of question, and all involve specifying a hypothesis beforehand and testing if that hypothesis was correct. Jadi untuk kuantitatif ini sebenarnya sudah dapat jawaban di awal ya, karena ada hipotesisnya. Jadi dugaan awalnya misalkan tentang pengaruh ya, pengaruh A terhadap B. Nah, nanti mungkin H1-nya A berpengaruh terhadap B, atau H2-nya B berpengaruh terhadap A, atau yang ketiganya H dan B tidak mempunyai pengaruh sama sekali, seperti itu. Baik, tes 1, 2. Ya, kita kembali ya. Kita kembali di slide ini ya. What kind of data can be analyzed? Jadi data apa yang bisa dianalisis? Ya pastinya data yang berupa angka-angka ya, dan akan diproses ya, data tersebut dari survei, dari kuesioner ya, diproses melalui aplikasi atau manual menggunakan Excel ya, dan spreadsheet dan lainnya. Tapi biasanya yang diproses datanya menggunakan SPSS ya, yang paling standar yang sudah biasa dipergunakan. Data that are not inherently numeric must be converted to numeric data through some kind of coding. Jadi datanya tidak perlu seperti kualitatif, harus dirubah ya, dikonverted dengan coding, measurement or labeling proses. Cukup masukin ke aplikasi udah ada. Cuman kita harus tahu apa makna dari setiap analisis yang sudah dibuatkan oleh aplikasi tersebut. How are the data analyzed in quantitative research? The analysis is almost always done via one or more statistical test. Jadi cukup satu atau lebih ya. Ya biasanya cukup 3 atau 4 ya. Jangan terlalu banyak juga ya. Biasanya dimulai dari datanya normal nggak ya. Nanti ada parametric dan non parametric ya. Ya, jika datanya normal harus seperti apa, datanya tidak normal harus seperti apa, nanti mungkin akan dijelaskan lebih lanjut di pertemuan berikutnya. Finally, what kind of inference are possible? In quantitative work, researchers often attempt to make a claim, ya, jadi punya klaim sepihak ya, ada kausalitas ya, ada sebab akibat ya, hubungannya ya, atau klaim secara umum, generalization that choose relationship would be present in people outside the study as well. Oke. Both of these are subject to limitation and align with particular view ya. Jadi bisa dilihat dari beberapa view ya, angle-nya beda-beda tergantung researchernya mau lihat seperti apa ya. Tapi kalau datanya sudah pasti, misalkan 0,00 sekian itu valid, 0,00 sekian tidak valid itu sudah mutlak tidak bisa diganggu gugat. Quantitative theory use ya testing causal claim in quantitative research. Ini contoh ya. Jadi X berakibat mempunyai sebab akibat yang berakibat pada Y dan begitu pun sebaliknya. Di sini dicontohkannya minuman ya. Nah, mungkin kalau di pariwisata bisa yang lain ya, bukan minuman atau mungkin masalah kalau kita dengan eh, logo halal mungkin ya, apakah ada hubungannya gitu juga bisa logo halal berdampak pada customer membeli suatu produk. Kalau tidak ada logo halal tidak akan beli. Cuma ada juga yang di sini ada ya third variable ya, may because of the outcome you are measuring. Ya, jadi hasil yang kamu pergunakan itu masuk di variable third variable. Definition of the theory in quantitative research. In the definition of theory in quantitative research is an interrelated set of construct or variable formed into proposition or hypothesis that specify the relationship among variables, typically in terms of magnitude or direction. A theory might appear in research study as an argument, a discussion, a figure, rationale, or a conceptual framework, and it's help to explain or predict the phenomena that occur in the world. Nah, jadi teori ini sangat dipegang teguh untuk teori untuk menggunakan pendekatan kuantitatif karena awalnya dari situ gitu. Berbeda dengan kualitatif nanti yang akan kita dijelaskan di pertemuan berikutnya. Another aspect of theory is that they vary in their breadth of coverage. Naumann 2009 review theories at three levels. Jadi ada micro level theories provide explanation limited to small slice of time, space, or number of people, such as government theory of face work, which explain how people engage in ritual during the face-to-face interaction. Meso-level theory linked to micro and macro level. These are theories of organization, social and movement, or the community, such as Collin theory of control organization. Ya, teorinya mungkin nggak harus ini ya, ini cuma contoh ada semacam levelnya ya, ada kriteria-kriteria atau semacam kategorinya. Micro level theories explain larger aggregates such as social institution, cultural system, and whole societies. Okay. Form of theories in quantitative research. Hopkins 1964 conveyed this theory influence processes as a set of 50 hypotheses. Some of these hypotheses are as follow. This has been slightly altered to remove the gender-specific pronouns. Number one, higher one rank, the greater one centrally, the greater one's observability. Ya, yang third, the higher one's rank, the greater one's observability. Number four, the greater one's centrally, the greater one's conformity. And five, the higher one rank, the greater one's conformity. And six, the greater one's observability, the greater one's conformity. And the last, the seven, the greater one's conformity, the greater one's observability ya. Ini bentuk-bentuknya. Tapi tahun 1964 ya. Tapi masih bisa dipergunakan ya beberapa hipotesisnya. Series of 15 hypotheses. Variable in quantitative research, a variable refers to a characteristic or attribute of an individual or an organization that can be measured or observed and that varies among the people or organization being studied. Variables often measured in study include gender, age, socioeconomic status, IS, and attitudes or behaviors such as racism, social control, political power, or leadership. Variable in quantitative research ya ada 3 independent variable yang dependent. Independent ini dia tetap tidak berubah ya. Contohnya di sini they are described independent ya. Kayak affect outcome jadi misalkan pengaruh budaya. Ya budayanya bisa berubah tidak berubah ya. Tapi yang budaya mungkin budaya suatu tempat ya, tempatnya bisa berubah dependent variable. Predictive variable, also called attention variable, variable are used to predict an outcome of interest in survey method study. Prediction variable are similar to independent variable in that they are hypothesized to affect outcome in study, but dissimilar because the researcher is not able to systematically manipulate a predictor variable. Selanjutnya outcome variable, also called criterion or response variable, a variable considered outcome result of prediction variable in survey method study. They share the same properties as dependent variable described above. Intervening or mediating variable, intervening or mediating variable stand between the independent, ya jadi di tengah-tengah ya. They transmit the effect on independent variable and independent variable. For a review scene, oke ini mediation variable can be tested using different kind of statistical mediation. Jadi pengaruh bla 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 menggunakan pendekatan bla bla bla. Nah, pendekatannya ini yang intervening mediation variable. Moderating variable are predictive variable that affect the direction and or the strength of the relationship between independent and dependent variable or between predictor and outcome variable. Jadi kalau gini agak bingung ya, nanti mungkin Reki bisa kerjakan. Nanti kita akan kupas satu-satu ya. Kita kuliti ya atau kita review ya. Deductive approach typically used in quantitative research test or verified theory, research test hypothesis, research question from the theory, research define and operationalize variable different from the theory, research measure or observe variable using an instrument to option score. Okay. Option for placing theory in the quantitative study. Option for placing ya ini ada keuntungan kekurangan dan kelebihannya ya. In the introduction di awal often found journal article and will familiar to reader is compare deductive approach. Okay. Kekurangannya it's difficult for a reader to isolate and spread theory based from other component of the research process. In the later review, theories are found in the letter and their inclusion in the letter review is a logical extension or part of the letter. Disadvantage-nya is difficult for a reader to see the theory in isolation from topic being reviewed. After hypothesis or research question as a rational, the theory discussion is a logical extension hypothesis or research question because it explains how and why a variable are related. The writer may include theoretical rationale after hypothesis and question and leave out an extended discussion about the origin and rationale for the use of the theory. In separate section, advantage-nya this approach clearly separate the theory from the component of the research process and it enable a reader better identify and to understand the theory base of for the study. This advantage, the story discussion and in isolation from other component of the research process. Example, education or method, and such as a reader may not easily connect it with other component of research process. Oke, ini referensinya. Kalau mau coba-coba baca, boleh kontak saya nanti. Pertanyaan kita lewat Telegram dan Google Classroom. Sekian, terima kasih. Jangan lupa ininya dikerjakan, sudah selesai di Google Classroom. Saya ucapan hamdalillah rabbil alamin, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.